Hey, Blue Table fans! We're going to take a look around the studio. I'm coming up with new stuff every day. So here we go. First off, I have this Harlequin's Army / Bealtan Army for Eldar, an old school avatar. Yeah, I painted this one in like '98. Got a Wraith Knight. This is a Forge World model called a Wraith Seer. It's a Wraith Lord that's also a Psyker. Some Mask of the Midnight Sorrow guys. Dark Reapers. Speaking of which, I just put a ton of Eldar up at bluetablestore.com. Sky Weavers. And Wraithguard. Whatever this is. A Warwalker. And also some various Weavers. Yep, those are pretty awesome. So, pretty stoked about that. And we're slowly but surely grinding this Iron Hands army. And I just cleared this shelf because I didn't have another place to put them for the time being. And what else? These are going up on the Webstore soon. I'm pretty stoked about these guys. It was just a trade-in, not our work. Also, the Triumvirate, minus Cat Lady for some reason. Also got a Forge World Bloodthirster. You guys saw this. He was around with no base, and I just did up his base with good corking, guys. That base is going to look awesome. I also converted on from plastics a replacement axe and a replacement whip. I'm pretty excited with how those turned out. A couple of his horns had come off, so I replaced those as well. This is a Dreaded Ambull that I'm going to paint up from my personal collection. And he's got like these maggots dripping off of his arm back here. I'm going to clip those off. Those are unnecessary for this model. I don't like action parts on a model, like smoke coming out of the smokestacks. No. Just give me the basic model, no accoutrements, or however you say that word. Also a Blight Drone, a little bit of a work in progress here. This is part of a Demons 40k army that we're working on. Pretty excited about that. I was going to do a separate video about these guys, but I may as well just show them as part of the studio update. These are some ogres that came in on trade. I really liked them. They were mostly painted. This is airbrush on their skin there, and I attempted to replicate it just using painting, and it's close enough. Like they look like they're from the same tribe. And basically I took some Auruchs, is that what they're called? Yeah. And like the new orcs for Age of Sigmar, and I took some of their weapons and put them on these guys. And again, these are for D&D now. These actually make perfect hill giants, in my opinion. Gave this guy this weird sort of talisman. He's going to be a magic user of some kind. The bases obviously need to get done. I'm going to make them all match, and this will be my little tribe of marauding hill giants for D&D. I'm really excited about those, actually. And whoosh, I'm watching The Awesomes. Love that show. Absolutely a load of fun. I did a little how-to video on this guy, but I don't think my camera work was very good, so I'll have to do another video on good corking. Good corking, basically, it looks realistic. You break up the cork, scuff it up, add additional pieces, and it ends up looking really good. I need to give it another coat of matte black by hand, and then that'll be ready to paint. Alright guys, now the ramble portion of the video. Yeah, I'm just going to put this up here. You get to see my face. Ba-ba-da. So you can just, the miniatures are gone now, so you may as well just click next onto the next video. And alright guys, just hit 16 years at Blue Table Painting. Huge portfolio, and there is every reason that you should use this service for your miniatures assembly and painting. we got it. We got it all. My crew right now is really strong, very diverse. I've got lots of different painters at different levels. I've got grinding workhorse guys to do 200 models at level 3 artistic license, the $5 haircut, all the way up to some of the best painters in the state who can do boutique level painting and everywhere in between. I got it. It's fantastic. All right, so what else? Somebody commented on my teeth. Thank you very much. I think I mentioned it before. Oh, hold on. Let me get some water handy. Yep, I got it. And that in the dating pool of the late 40s, the ladies are wondering if your teeth are real. Because that's, well, you can have dentures. I've ran into really young people who had dentures or their teeth replaced for various reasons. And so I'm going to tell you the story of my teeth. My fangs, what are they called, bicuspids? I don't know. These teeth right here, they're a little longer. We're vampires, you know, have the pokey teeth. Those were, when I was young, were rotated. So instead of being like this, they were like this. And it made them appear very sharp. In when I was teaching elementary school, the kids would ask me why I had fangs. And I said, well, a while ago I was in a car accident and I lost a lot of blood. And when I got to the hospital, they had run out of human blood. So they had to give me wolf's blood. And it made my teeth this way. It gave me wolf's teeth. They'd be like, really? Wow. Yeah, it's awesome. 9 is a wonderful age where kids still have the magic left, where they believe in magical things. All right, what's next? Then I moved to Salt Lake in 2004, and my wife got a job at an orthodontics office. One of the benefits there was that they would do the orthodontics for the family. And we became family friends with the family that owned the office. They were wonderful to us in every way. And they agreed to do my orthodontics if I wanted them. And I leapt at the opportunity. I think I was 36 at the time, and it took 3 years to get it done. It was brutal. Because when you're older, your teeth are all set and hardened. And they had to make room in my mouth, so they gave me what's called a palate expander. It's a device that they hook onto your upper teeth, and it cracks your palate down the middle. So they crank it, and it's got these 2 plastic pieces, and they push out onto your teeth. Well, my palate was so fused that it just bent the teeth out, and it started actually pushing them through the wall of the jaw, and which obviously is really bad. And when they saw that was happening, they cranked it back. So I had to have all months and months of just discomfort, and then they cranked them back into position. And then they attempted it again. They reinforced it. They tried to crack that palate again, wouldn't work. And what happened in the end? Yeah, how did they finally get it? I can't remember. Now on the bottom, same problem. On the bottom, they actually pulled one of my front teeth. And they usually don't do the pulling themselves, but we were super broke. The business was just starting. We were super broke, and I was like, all right, well, I got to get this done. So we were at dinner with our friends, and I started talking to the orthodontist guy, and I was like, hey, can you give me some tips on home extraction? Because I got to get this tooth out, and we just don't have the means. And so what I'm thinking is and then we're gonna have the car. And I'm just gonna use pliers. I'm just gonna yank it out. And the guy he was just cringing the whole time when I was describing these home ways that I was gonna do it. And finally he just listen, come down on Monday, I'll just take it out. And he was a master. It was amazing. He gave me a little shot. He literally got out some pliers, and he just popped that tooth right out. So I'm missing one of these front teeth. I only have 3. You have those 4 sort of similar looking under teeth. Well, I only have 3 of those, and the middle one is exactly in the middle. And that's how they made room to make it all go. So this family was great to us, and my kids, I think excepting Willow, have got their orthodontics done there. Orthodontics, highly recommend it. Get it done young, just get it out of the way. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but at least you'll have it for life. And I have a permanent retainer that has been mostly cut up now, but my teeth have stayed really, really well, and it makes me happy. What else is going on in the life of Sean Gately, of one Sean Gately? First off, you can be my Facebook friend. Just look up Sean Gately. There's actually some defunct fan sites out there, so it'll be pretty obvious which one is mine. It'll actually have current content and stuff like that. I make the mistake of making a lot of my stuff public, and it's too late. I already have such a public life. I've accepted so many people as friends, not knowing that they were bots and trolls and all sorts of random people and artificial intelligences and people that don't exist. And so little did I know, I would have been way more selective from the get-go, but too late now. This is what it is. So far, so good. And you're welcome to be my friend too. Just know that nowadays I actually do check it out a little bit. I look at the other person's profile. I'll usually message them, how do you know me? You know, and I'm a fan. That's good enough. Don't be shy about it. It's okay. And a big part of my life's journey is what I would call, I call it enlightenment, but it's actually, inner peace. In the summer of 2015, I got my inner peace. My whole life, my brain has been like this machine that's run amok. It's thinking things. I can't really, or before, I couldn't really control it. My thoughts would just run rampant all day long, and usually worrisome thoughts, fearful thoughts, where I was just out of my mind with stress and aggravation. And it made me not easy to be around sometimes. I have I'd call it a manic personality. Most of the time I'm up, I don't understand. I'm like, what's wrong with you fellow humans that you're not excited to be alive? And I usually keep that to myself. Nobody wants to hear that. And that's a bit of a question mark for me, of course. But more than that, I look to myself and I think, all right, how can I get my happiness level up? How can I refine my thought processes to get rid of a lot of this worrisome thoughts? And recently I've become more and more aware of what I call compulsions. Like, I'll get out of the car and part of my mind will be like, all right, get inside the house before this other car passes, or something bad is going to happen. And this sort of sub-voice will name like a consequence. And they're usually horrible. I call it timing with consequences. And I realized very recently how much of my everyday background thoughts have been these types of little games that I'm playing with myself. But the games are rooted in something below that, which is fear. It's sort of what I call run rabbit run, that I'm always worried that something bad is going to happen. And so long story short, in the last month, I just became aware of this. I was always aware of it, obviously. It's going on every day. But I became more consciously aware of it. And I just let them all go. And I contribute that to all the practice I've put into consciously directing my everyday flow of thoughts through my own mind. And so once, like in the summer of 2015, once I learned to stop thought, which in some cases it's better to think nothing at all than the chatter, the stressful, worrisome chatter that's constantly going on. And So with practice, and I've been practicing for many years now, it was very easy to let all of that go from one day to the next. And I'm very aware now of when I'm doing it, which is only usually 2 or 3 times a day, and it's very minor now, and I just let it go. And I'm breathing easier. So for me, my big news in my personal life, like the secret chambers of the heart, is that I'm going up. I'm going up to that next level. Not next level for humanity, just what's next for me personally, going up. And seeking that better feeling thought inside of my own mind. And it's great. It's great. I feel a lot of peace. Obviously, a lot of the worry in my life has to do with the business, and that never ends. Always been worried about it. But lo and behold, here I am. Oh, how could it be that those many thousands upon thousands of projects got done and everything was fine? And there have been 2 parts to that. And my thought now is there was never anything really to worry about. There were a couple of cathartic moments that I had, and I think I've shared them before. One is, yeah, that red light's going on. I'm not just standing here talking to myself. One is in October 2012, up at Valhalla. I'm up at Sundance. It's beautiful. It's autumn. Sundance is this gorgeous mountain valley, this vale, this mystical wonderland. It's really amazing. Sundance Film Festival is there. Look it up. It's a great place to be. And incidentally, I do have a service I offer that you can go to bluetablestore.com, and I will do a whole deluxe spread for you and your friends for a whole week, and I'll run you through this great adventure, make custom terrain, paint miniatures for it, all up at one of the best places up at Sundance. I've hiked around up there. I've seen so many different places. I have people that I know there, and it's something you can purchase. It's a service that I offer. Most people don't know about it or care to use it, but it does exist. So I'm up at Sundance. I'm at Valhalla. I'm with hand-picked people from my staff, my favorite people in the world. My wife and kids come to visit. They're beautiful and wonderful. The guests are amazing. The guest stars are awesome. I'm in the hot tub with these tremendous captains of industry. The food is amazing. Everything's being prepared by a private chef. And I'm walking from one cabin to the next, and I'm completely miserable because I'm so worried. I fixated on something to do with the business that it becomes everything. And isn't the mind amazing that way, that it can pick one thing and focus in on it so tightly that one little thing becomes the entire world? And I had to stop. And I remember I was walking up the lane, and it had just rained, and the leaves they were plastered to the asphalt, and it was and it just smelled so good. And I was going to be in the hot tub, and my mind was just getting eaten up and with worry. And I thought to myself, this is no way to live, Sean. You gotta do something about this. And little did I know what a years-long journey it would be to get to the point now where in the year 2020, it's easy for me to find that peace. It's so easy. In fact, the peace is the default thing that's pervasive. And if I'm feeling something other than peace, contentment, enjoyment, satisfaction, I notice it. I'm like, oh, I'm getting worked up over something, over nothing, over just something I'm imagining up. It's like, Sean, you can't go back to those old bad habits. And then the other one, which I think was actually earlier, it's 4:30 a.m. I've woken up, and immediately I'm like worried. And how am I going to make payroll? How am I going to handle this situation with this client? What about, you know, the security of the building? And I'm like, okay, great. Now my brain has just like revved up and just started whipping me mercilessly with these things. And I'm up and I'm making a cream of wheat. I'm making hot cereal, and I'm just miserable. And I'm watching this boil, and I'm like, oh, Sean, it's now 5 a.m. I'm like, the banks aren't open. Nobody is answering their emails. There's absolutely nothing you can do right now. Right now, your choice is enjoy this hot cereal and have some peace and think about something else, or be absolutely miserable and eat your hot cereal. Either way, you're going to be eating hot cereal, and it's going to be 5 a.m. and it's dark out, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about anything. And I was like, I thought to myself, oh, okay. This is, yeah, in fact, I think this happened the same year. 2012 was sort of a cathartic year. And that's 8 years ago. And I got to tell you, it's been a wonderful inner journey. And right now, do you know what would make me happy? Set up about 5 projects. That would be great. We're ready to do some armies. Get those on the docket. That would be really good. Yeah, that's my life. And what else? Audrey, I have, of course, as you guys know, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. I'm now married to the mother. Marriage is a structure, a social and legal structure. I view it more as that sort of thing, that it's a technical construct and not the actual relationship. The actual relationship is something completely different. For me, the two things are just, I'm just working on the relationship. I'm not really worried about the construct of marriage. It just, ultimately, I have to put in the time and the emotional energy into the relationship. And it's not a bad thing. Like, I'm like, I gotta go put time. It's a delight. I love to get home at night and just be with my little family. And my first marriage with 4 children, I have the younger of the two, Willow, who's 11 now, Griffin, who's 14, almost 15. And they're out on weekends and holidays, which is really great. I got to tell you that, you know, divorce has like all these horror stories associated with it, but for whatever reason, that didn't happen to me. And that's really a wonderful thing that's happened in my life, is that my ex-wife and I, we get along really well. And even during the process of the divorce, which is lengthy, it was, we just high-fived each other, and we talked a lot, and we're like, well, if this is going to happen, we're going to do it the best way that we possibly can. And we were a team even through that. And we were a team afterwards too. Co-parents, it takes, you got to put effort into that relationship. Excuse me, I got to put effort into that relationship. It's like anything else. So in Utah, you can just grab a marriage license and do it the same day. They make it so easy to get married. You don't have to go to workshops. They don't make you go to classes. You don't have to get approved. It's easier to get a driver license than to get married and start having kids. And I think it should definitely be harder. And I think people will think twice about it. Where am I, by the way? Oh, I'm at 24 minutes. Awesome. Hey, this has turned into quite a ramble. And so in Utah, you file for divorce, but it takes 3 months to get it cleared up. And and you have to go to a class. Yes, it's a mandatory thing you have to go to where they show this video, and it's in like a courtroom, right? And a guy comes out, civil servant, shows you this video, and because you have to attend together. Oh, the animosity in that room. It's like 12 couples. They're all, and you can just see, you can just feel the antagonism coming off of them as some of them sit like 10 feet apart, and they're just in the room, and then you have to go sign this thing that you did it. And we were pretty yeah, it was, but for us, for me and my ex-wife, there was none of that. I actually think we got something to eat afterwards, and we set it up. There's also a thing where if you and your soon-to-be ex-spouse, if you agree on how you want to have things, I don't know how it is in other states. I know some states you have to wait like a year. It's like they make it real tough to get it done. And so, what was it? Oh, I lost my train. Oh yeah, stipulated divorce. So if you agree, then you work up your document, a lawyer, both of your lawyers look it over, and they, and then you both sign it. You can submit. It's called stipulated divorce. I think that's the term. And that means basically you're going before the judge saying, hey, we want a divorce. Please, may we have a divorce? And the judge is like, oh, well, since you're both in agreement, and they look at the basics, they look at like child support. So like you can't mess with the formula for child support. They look at it and they're like, all right, this looks good. If you two are in agreement, then we agree too. And the judge signs it, and great. If you don't stipulate, if there's a fight, and you're like, all right, judge, you're going to have to figure out which one of us is going to get what. Guess what? Oh, then you lose control. Then the judge, you don't know what he or she is going to do. They might decide something that both of you don't like. So I got to tell you, it's a sticky situation. The obvious solution is don't get married to begin with, and then everything becomes a lot clearer. You never had that sort of joining of all your resources in this agreement. Because when you sign that marriage certificate, and by the way, I'm not down on marriage. I'm just saying when you sign that certificate, you're signing volumes and volumes of state law regarding marriage and divorce. And most people, they tra-la-la into it and don't even think about it. And then, of course, life happens and people change. So you never know. And yeah, sometime I'll talk about the entire process. Right now, I'm not sure what the vibration is about the discussion of it. And anyway, so for my part, I feel like I lucked out. I was fortunate to marry such a great human being, like capital G, one of the great human beings I've met is my ex-wife. We still get along famously, and that's rare. That's rare. By the way, I'll probably not have comments on this video just because of the nature of the topic. It's very sensitive to a lot of people. However, you can email me or message me somehow and just say, hey, talk about this other thing a little bit more, or some sort of offshoot, some sort of tangent thing. And it's turned out pretty well. So my second marriage, I got married about 7 months ago. Yeah. And this time, of course, I had a huge amount of perspective about it. Not only 20 years of first marriage, but also 4 years of doing whatever I wanted and being single. That gave me a lot of perspective. And we definitely have a prenup. But that's more of a legal document that has to do with possessions. Although it does address other types of issues as well, which I do recommend. It doesn't hurt to get one. And then we have another agreement, which is a personal agreement that I typed up, and I was like, all right, well, let's discuss all of this and how it's going to be. And so we have that other agreement. And let me tell you, that makes things go a lot smoother when you have everything figured out ahead of time. But of course, when you're in your 20s and you don't really have that perspective, it's hard to know. It's hard to know even what questions to ask. And right now, my life is really good. My life is really good. It makes sense, and I just love it. I appreciate my clients so much. I have so many years ago, I had a client who had just hit his 100th project. And that's it. He had a certain amount every month, and he just, like for 10 years, he just kept sending something in, sending in something. All right, that was redundant. Sending something in, sending in something. Anyway, and I thought, if I had like 50 more of this guy, I wouldn't have to worry about a thing. And for the most part, that's where Blue Table Painting is right now. I can pick and choose. If I don't like a project, I don't have to take it. And on the other hand, I have new clients popping up all the time, and I love it. So many new, pleasant, wonderful people. It's really great. I must be doing something right. And what else? Yeah, my clients are awesome. And my artists too. I got Salt Lake is a great place to be for the art community. Well, I think that's it. I think I just ran out of steam, guys. Those are my topics for the day. Please send me an email, bluetablepainting@gmail.com. Send me an email. Give me some topics to talk about. I would love to interact with this group that I have. Obviously, whatever I put up, like 300 people are looking at it. Who are you? Who is my audience? Let me address what it is you're talking about. Oh, and people want battle reports. Oh, that's easier said than done. All right, off I go. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got your inspiration for the day.